Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 5 of season 3 of the F123 My Team career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the first time in the USA. Miami returns once again, the Sunshine State here, and yeah, one of the better tracks I find inside F123. Of course, if you missed out yesterday's video where we went back to Shanghai, I would definitely recommend going back and checking that video out as well. We had brilliant fun in the first return to China. Quite a crazy race, changeable conditions, red flags, all that good stuff, and a lot of drama and intrigue as well, just to add to it. But of course, championship-wise at the moment then, we are currently sat in P8. All the big upgrades that we're hoping to go on the car will be next time out when we head back to Imola, so we shouldn't see another big jump of performance just yet. Perez leading the way, 11 points ahead of Verstappen, currently tied in 6th place with McLaren in the constructors as well, but just 1 point behind Alpine. However, Alex Albon is looking a lot more racy now, still unable to score any points, but was unlucky last time out in Shanghai. Of course, if you're new around here, please make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well. Daily F1 My Team until we win the World Championship. But anyway, let's get on with it though. Miami Grand Prix time. Well, heading straight then into Q1, like I said, hoping that Q1s are going to be a thing of the past in these videos quite soon, but still not quite confident enough just yet, in case something goes a bit pear-shaped. Miami, again, is another one of those tracks where track limits, I feel, I said going into Shanghai, I didn't think we were going to have too many problems there, but then, of course, did pick up that penalty just because of the way the curbing is. As a couple of corners I'm very, very scared of round here. So I have actually put a tiny bit extra aerodynamics into the car just to try and give us a helping hand. It's through this whole section that I'm really nervous, just because it's so easy for the front end to try and push out through that corner. But I reckon this might be a weekend where we don't get a penalty again. It's a street circuit, so there isn't much room to get penalties, but you never know. Well, very, very sloppy down through the middle sector there and barely up on Yuki Tsunoda's time for 27.2, and this might be the reason why I keep leaving the Q1s in these edits, because, yeah, just no guarantee that we're going to make it out of them still. The whole field very, very competitive, and also we're noticing more and more how much times actually ramp up as qualifying sessions go on. 27.4, that is appalling. We're only P20. Well, 1.2 seconds was not what I had in mind. Yep, I'm well aware of that, Mark. I was literally trying to talk about the same thing. But yeah, final run then here in Q1. We've really got to pull our finger out now. First lap was a bit more of a banker, just getting set up. There were quite a few mistakes on the lap, but this one has got to be a good one. It's the line I want through the chicane. A lot more curb taking that time. That's not the line I wanted on the way out, though. Big mistake there. It's going to cost me a bit of time. Only half a second up at the moment, so this has not been fantastic. We struggled for pace in qualifying here last season, if I remember, and then kind of had a very, very good race pace. Half a second up, though. Will this be enough as we make our way in towards the final couple of corners? Just not feeling the balance of the car at the moment quite where I want it. Another 10th found out the final turn. I think we're safely through, but not brilliant there. I think that was only P16 in the end. P15. Not fantastic. Only got the one run then here in Q2, and boy, does it need to be a good one. We need a 26-1. If we want to make it into Q3. Ocon and Pierre Gasly even tied currently in 9th and 10th. So exactly the same time in their two Alpine cars. So they're the ones that we're probably going to be racing for. Albon only in P11. So clearly neither car feeling well adjusted to the venue. But to make our way through the first couple of corners, that's not great either. We need to sweat. finally felt like a decent lap hooked up there. Purple through the middle sector is 4/10 up on Lando Norris. He's at a 26.3, so we might not be out of this just yet. One more corner to go, one real corner anyway. Come on, is this going to be through into Q3 then? Nicely on the throttle off the turn. Have we suddenly clutched up and found a lot more pace in the car? 26.2? I don't think so. Well, there we go then. Perez fastest ahead of Max Verstappen, but it is both Red Bulls, Ferraris, Mercs, Astons and Alpines this weekend that make it into Q3. Followed up by both Audis as well there. You can see Gasly and Ocon identical times in the end, so it would have been quite funny if we'd knocked Esteban out there, despite setting the same time as his teammate. But 11th and 12th, we got a good chance ready for the race. Seems like this thing just does not have the qualifying pace.
We're here in the coastal shores of Florida for the Miami Grand Prix, which has become the 11th Formula One track held in the United States. Grandstands are packed for what we hope is going to be another fantastic race, with great opportunities for wheel-to-wheel battles featuring 19 corners, 3.36 miles long and expected average speeds of 138 miles an hour. The Miami International Autodrome will be sure to create lots of chances to overtake. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Magnussen, Gasly, Ocon, Albon, Mr. Monaco, Norris, Joe, Bottas, Liam Lawson, Stroll, Tsunoda, Fittipaldi, Teo Pourchaire, De Vries and Logan Sargent. And now it's time to head down to the track. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? They've had to change their gearbox, of course, but it's never a good start to a Grand Prix when right off the bat you have to contend with a grid penalty.
Well, at the end of the day, it's always better to take some pain now than parking it up halfway through the Grand Prix. Let's just hope they can put that new gearbox to good use and get the results they're looking for.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Well, once again then, Crofty and Anthony Davidson talking about Max Verstappen, but once again talking out of their behinds. No grid penalty again for the Dutchman here, so I don't quite know what that is all about. But quite an aggressive one-stop strategy the way to go today, I reckon. Softs over to mediums. Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, Aston Martin, Alpines, Audis. 6 rows locked in of just team by team by team. Has F1 reached a small issue here? Here we go though, ready for the Miami Grand Prix. I'm sure the race won't finish the way it's set to start. 5 red lights and lights out. And away we go as Piastri and Ocon both not getting off to a good start there. Hamilton and Sainz as well having a bit of a nightmare as we head down in towards turn 1. So I think we're 3 wide with our teammate and Esteban there through the first corner. And look at that, again, another fantastic start where we've made up 3 places here as Magnussen all the way up into 5th there. Red Bull still lead the way, 1 and 2 at the first couple of corners as Charles Leclerc in P4 then. So Russell's had a good start getting around both Ferraris. So I said this race wasn't going to finish the way it started. It's barely remained the same in the first couple of turns. Only Red Bull and ourselves there with both cars still next to each other. And we are actually next to each other then as Albon flies past me there. Big save as we head out onto the back straight. But again, what I've got to make sure I do today is not pick up an early track limits warning. Really try to save them right until the end of the afternoon, as almost into the back of Albon there. Everyone Constantina and up lap 1 as we make our way through the slow sector 2. But yeah, I'm feeling confident today. You know, Shanghai, we showed some good pace. It's often not been a track that suits me in a race trim. So I'm thinking Miami, you know, we could be on for quite a good result here. Maybe able to match a couple of our front runners there. Red Bull just clear cut still at the front of the field. But of course, that massive chassis overhaul that should be coming in for next round at Imola. You know, we've got 3 big tests of the aerodynamics of a car coming up in Imola, Monaco, and of course, Catalunya, Barcelona. Verstappen leads the way then, come the end of lap 1. Checo Perez in hot pursuit with George Russell up in P3. Well, Magnussen and Gasly then. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, causing a bit of a train already for Sainz and Hamilton behind them, so I can't help but wonder if they can kind of shift their way to the front of that group now the DRS has been enabled. How quickly are they going to be able to try and romp off? But for Albon and I, you know, again, lacking qualifying pace for the pair of us, neither seeing Q2 this weekend. I think for the first time we haven't had a car in Q3 since Bahrain, of course, and a very, very different car it was. But yeah, race pace we definitely seem to be right there on the money. Good to see Alpine back fighting as well this weekend. They were kind of nowhere in Shanghai. We really just have kind of settled down into a bit of a battle pack early on here, and to be honest, I don't settle in battle packs very well. I like to go for it. Are we going to be able to get a run on Alex Albon then as we head out onto the bypass? Always the AI got very, very good traction out of there, and I think we might be running just a tiny bit too much downforce. Oh, here we go. Magnussen. Oh, no. Sorry, Albon. Sorry. That was really not my intention there, as we do make the move work on our teammate Alex Albon, and you know, I kind of sounded then like Richard Hammond skiing. If any of you that watched Top Gear back in the day will remember that clip. It's a very obscure reference, I know, but Albon down the inside once again at turn 1. This time around, though, we'll hook it up around the outside, and I've got to really make sure we don't lose the DRS squabbling with each other. Now, come on, Lewis Hamilton, right all over the back of the Merc as we head out onto the straight, and I think that's why him and Sainz are struggling a little bit more, because of course they're on harder tyres relative to a lot of cars around them that are on the softer sets. Hamilton, though, knows, probably would have seen in his mirror the move I pulled off on Albon last lap, so does not want to allow that on the Merc, but around the outside we'll go, and Lewis Hamilton, a bit like early on last season, had a bit of a nightmare early on in the campaign, and once again that seems to be the case, is just like Albon, though, he's going to get back to the inside of me for turn 1, and just like Albon, though, we're going to slow it down, hook it up around the outside. Oh, come on then, Carlos Sainz, trying to get a run on the Ferrari. You can see how much power that thing's got as he heads off the corner. What on earth is that from Carlos Sainz? He's got a jet engine in the back of that Ferrari, but can we still dive to the inside there? Hards versus softs. Gasly and Magnussen having a big battle in front there, and we do make the move work. It was a very, very aggressive one, and Sainz hasn't got the grip to come back at me. We've got to be careful we don't take too much out of these tyres, though, early on this afternoon, as Sainz sees the first car that hasn't been able to get a run back on me into T1. Here we go, Magnussen, Gasly back at it again as we head down towards the final couple of turns. Lap 7 of 29. There has been a lot going on early on this afternoon, but top 4 have very much checked out here as Gasly will complete that move again. Will Magnussen be able to get a run on him back down the outside in towards turn 1? And this gives me a good chance to try and save some battery there as well. Gasly really showing Kevin Magnussen the elbows. I'm sure the Dane will not take to that too kindly as Magnussen round the outside he'll go through the next couple of corners there. Fantastic driving, and yeah, you really... Magnussen is not the kind of driver I'd say you want to upset all too often behind the wheel of a Formula 1 car, because he will absolutely come back and swing 10 times harder. Here we go, Gasly though, back to the inside again, so clearly not done with it. Look at that again, Magnussen just trying to get muscled out by Pierre Gasly there. Are we going to see the Alpine keep the car at the inside? No, we're not, so we just nudge the wall behind them, and our first warning of the day, and I literally said I didn't want to pick up warnings early on this afternoon, just got the wheel over the curbing, but are we now both going to be able to get a run on Kevin as we head out onto the back straight? If I navigate these two, ideally, I want to get them both at the same time here as Pierre Gasly back to the inside once again. Kevin Magnussen going slowly. We're going to try and have a look. No, we're not. Magnussen defends to the inside there. Somehow we get the car rotate around him. Slap the wall again as we head out of the final corner as we give him a big old squeeze. Gasly senses an opportunity to run away as we start lap 9, but have we now finally got past the Dane? It looks like we have. What I'm actually considering doing here is either at the end of 10 or 11 is diving in slightly early off these softs and going hard to the end of the afternoon. Try and break free from this gaggle of cars. You know, I'm under no illusion Hamilton and Sainz should probably get the better of me by the end of the afternoon. I mean, Hamilton is shifting his way past the other cars. We can see how much we're already struggling for tyre grip there. I've taken a bit too much out of them early. But nice, of course, you know, that you can do the alternate strategies on F123 and also, you know, go from soft to hard as well. Right, let's try and get a run on Pierre this time round then as we head out onto the back straight. Down the inside we'll go, and of course no DRS to defend himself, so this one should be quite an easy move when all is said and done. And I remember back to Bahrain where we could barely keep up with an Alpine even with DRS. And now look at that, blowing right past one. But yeah, we're going to box the end of lap 11 though. 11 and 18 lap split on each set of tyres, but now I want to keep Pierre Gasly at bay. At the end of lap 11 then, about to head into the pit lane. Yellow's out. Someone's going slowly. I think that might be Sergio Perez, who's having issues in this Grand Prix, as we're going to dive into the pit lane. Did we get the car slowed down? Yes, we did apparently. And Checo Perez, our championship leader, out of the Miami Grand Prix. And we almost timed that beautifully for a safety car. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. And now I really don't want a safety car to come out in this race. But heartbreak for Perez. As onto a set of hard tyres will go. Hopefully out in some clear air. Right at the back of the trainer cars. I think I've broke F123. The whole circuit's gone red as if we've got a red flag for Checo. But we haven't got a red flag. AI is still racing each other. Are we all just heading back round to pit lane? It's literally limiting my throttle through some of the corners, which of course is not helpful. Because it's making the balance of the car very unstable. But what on earth is happening here? We've caught up to Nick de Vries. Will I be able to make an overtake? This seems odd. Look at that. You can literally hear it limiting my throttle input off the corner. It's fine when we get out onto a straight, but now I'm scared that as soon as we try and go for an overtake, it's just going to red flag it as Bottas and Norris into the pit lane then. Look at that. It won't let me go on throttle. I've never had this before inside F123, but yeah, I think the game's got muddled up when we pit. It's brought out a red flag here, but yeah, look at that. What is this? I can't do anything. We have effectively got a phantom red flag here at the moment. Are we going to be able to get a run on Nick de Vries as we head out onto the back straight? Will even let me make the overtake on Nick de Vries as we head out onto the back straight? But effectively now, of course, everyone is limited slightly as Albon even, into the pit lane. Can we make the move? We'll go down the inside. Whoa. Sorry, poor chair. Come on, poor chair, get on with it. Oh, he's pitting. That's why he was so slow. So clearly we can still make overtakes then, but have we lost out to Albon in this whole process? Doesn't look quite like it. But what is that? Down at turn 1, it's just constantly slowing me down, and we've definitely lost time because of it. I think what we're going to have to do is actually try and force a red flag, or at least a safety car, into this race. It doesn't look like the AI are affected by it. We'll see what Albon can do down the back straight. Opens up the DRS again for whatever reason. But yeah, the AI don't seem limited there, because whilst my throttle was getting cut out, he was just pulling away. Yeah, the AI aren't affected by it. What is this? It won't let me go on the throttle through there. Of course, the other thing is I want to bring out either a yellow or a red flag, but I don't want to do it until everyone else is pit. Otherwise, I'm going to lose out even more in this race. But I've never experienced a glitch like this before inside F1. It just permanently seems to believe only I've got a red flag here, as we're going to be back up inside the top 10. But yeah, surely we're going to lose out in a big way to a lot of cars. Look at that! As we get another warning, yeah, because I'm trying to carry speed into a corner and you're not letting me. Look at that! It won't... I know I keep... Thanks, Bottas. Alright, can we now bring out a safety car? There we go. Well, I get a 5-second penalty, of course, but... Well, I've completely screwed Albon and myself in this, but... Hopefully, this is going to fix the game. We're going to have to box, obviously, go a set of mediums to the end, but... That is so weird. And of course, yeah, if this doesn't fix it, then we may as well retire from the race, because we're not going to be able to do anything else this afternoon. 14 laps on a set of mediums to the end, obviously with a couple of safety car laps, in and amongst that. He's going to give us a safe strat to the end of the race. Is Esteban Ocon now out of the Grand Prix? Don't often see mechanical failures behind the safety car, as game's still adamant on doing 52 miles an hour on pit entry, so I've really got no idea what is going on with that, but luckily we'll be able to serve the 5-second penalty that I've got. We haven't got any more warnings, though, before a 3-second pen, but... I mean, what do we make of this? It's so weird, so bizarre. I'm actually going to take another gamble here and go on to a set of soft compound tyres. Safety car has stayed out longer than I was expecting. That's a good sign, though. Pit lane speed limit was actually working that time, so hopefully now it's fixed. And I've just realised we might have done something really stupid here. If I can't catch back up to the AI, then we're in big trouble towards the end. But I just want to be on the quickest tyres. I'm still, you know, not even sure if this game's going to work. But, you know, with 11 laps to go, we may as well try it. We may as well just be as quick as possible. Because, let's be fair, if I don't score points, then, well, I'm not, you know, it's either we come P10 or we come P18 kind of thing. I'm not too worried about anywhere from 11th down. Got safety car in then at the end of 18, and I'm getting a little bit nervous. Those red flags still out on the track map. Obviously, I can't make up the time anywhere else against the AI, you know. They're just going to be too fast for us to really do anything against them if this isn't fixed, if it's still limiting my throttle. But let's get ready to go green flag racing once again then as we head through the final couple of turns. Green flags, at least over the start-finish line. But nowhere else. Please, game, don't do this to me. Green flag according to the circuit. Is it going to limit my throttle down at turn 1? It seems alright. We might just have got away with it. As team saying green flags. Let's see what we can do. This was another big corner where it was... No, it's still limiting it slightly. Maybe that's Sonoda actually getting a good run. It might work. I reckon this is working again. At least for now. That's going to be a warning unless I lose time. Yep, which I have done. Right, let's fight. I say let's fight. I actually mean let's just overtake as many cars as we can in quick succession. Yuki Tsunoda, first one on the old hit list. Down the inside, we'll try and make sure we give him some room. AlphaTauri there. More than happy to get his elbows out. Can we hook it up right the way around? No, we can't. Come on, when I said let's fight, I said let's actually overtake. And haven't been able to do that so far. Big wobble there over the curbing. But surely the AlphaTauri is going to be no match for us as we head out onto the back straight. I'll tell you what, he's got pretty good traction off the corner there as Verstappen trying to defend the lead from all the other cars behind him around the outside of Lil Yuki. Are we going to be able to get it slowed down into the hairpin? Yes, we are. Got plenty of grip there as around the outside of the young Japanese driver will go. Next up, Bottas, who I'm amazed hasn't broken down. Bottas, big wobble there through the first couple of turns. Can we try and hook it up right the way around the outside? We're going to have the inside as we head into the S's, and rather unsurprisingly there, Bottas not really wanting to fight. And to be honest, probably quite a wise idea as well from the Alfa Romeo driver. Knows that car is no match for our Audi at the moment. But Logan Sargent then, home Grand Prix for him, of course. I think it is also his closest race, isn't it? I think he's Florida-based, isn't he, in real life, or Florida-born and bred. But anyway, down the inside of Logan Sargent we're going to go. And another one picked up. We've just got so much more grip through the twisty bits, though. Down the inside, it's going to be the outside of Nick de Vries into the S's. Can we make it work? It's risky when we got no more warnings left for track limits, but we've done it. So up to P15, but I'm also trying to make sure that we're being gentle on the tyres as we do it, especially on the rears. It's quite a rear-limited track, especially through that middle sector. But Fittipaldi, Lancelot up next. Right, come on then. My very first teammate on F123. I remember we had a battle with him Season 1 here, as he's going to have a look to the outside of Lance. Are we going to be able to get to the inside of the Canadian? Yes, we are. 2 for the price of 1. Well, I said we were trying to be gentle on the tyres. That was not particularly gentle, but it was bold and beautiful. Lawson really struggling around for grip as well in the second of the Williams cars. Again, another one of my former teammates. So Williams, yeah, apparently... I mean, we just seem to snipe Williams drivers, and they kind of get what's left from our old teams. So, very, very weird relationship we have with Williams at the moment, but we've definitely got their best talent in Alex Albon in our car at the moment. As down the inside of Lawson will go. Zhou Guanyu next up, and we're almost back at the points here, and I already know I'm going to get comments. Yes, I admit, I basically have had to do a crash gate here. But I think we would have rather that than me trundling around at the back of the field losing 3 seconds a lap through something I can't control, because the game's just deliberately slowing me down. I stand by my choice. Go on then, Joe. Don't really want to get stuck behind him through the middle sector if I can avoid it. Down the inside. And we will slow it down. Another one done. And I mean, really old these cars, obviously we shouldn't be battling with anyway. Lando Norris, though. No. Ah! Hello, Joe. Again, trying to get back down the inside. I had to make sure then when I ran off that I lost time. So, Zhou Guanyu fancied a chance. Well, I'm not quite sure I'm going to have the pace to close up to the likes of Piastri and that huge gaggle that's now stuck behind Kevin Magnussen late on here, but I'm going to definitely ruin Lando Norris' chance of scoring a point as we get down the inside of the McLaren. Just try and force him back over to the outside there as best as we can. But yeah, 4 more laps to go then here from Miami. It's been a very weird afternoon. 3 seconds up to Piastri. It's not over, but I'm not holding my breath. Well, heading into the final lap then of the Miami Grand Prix, and I tell you what, had Ferrari not done a Ferrari here and botched Carlos Sainz's strategy, he could actually leave this race winning the World Championship despite not taking a race victory, just by being brutally consistent. At the moment, though, it looks like Verstappen, of course, now with 1 DNF each way between him and Checo, is going to take the lead of the title by 7 points there, virtue of his extra race victory. Red Bull look like they're going to keep their winning streak alive, but still questions being raised surrounding their reliability at the moment. But as we make our way through this final lap, don't get a... Oh, come on, Matt. Oh, no. I was literally about to say how we haven't picked up a penalty this afternoon, but yeah, 3 races in a row then we picked up a penalty, and clearly, this time around it's not going to cost me anything, so it's not really the end of the world, but annoying, to say the least there. But anyway, around in the final few corners of the Miami Grand Prix. Yeah, weird little race in the end, strange little bug, but as I've said before, Canada last season, you guys will remember, we had quite a strange glitch there as well. I'd rather leave them in the videos and showcase them, because that way, hopefully, EA see and try to make some changes and adjustments, but yeah, annoying nonetheless. Max Verstappen, though, will win the Miami Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc will come home P2 ahead of both Mercedes. Looks like Magnussen is defending from Sainz right to the bitter end there, and Albon will come through for his first points of the campaign. Somehow, despite everything, though, we will keep our point streak alive, but I can't help but feel like today we deserved just that little bit more.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team. Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. Max Verstappen now leads the Drivers' Championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
Let's move on to the constructors. Meanwhile, good work from the owner drivers team this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then. The end of the Miami Grand Prix, and Max Verstappen, back-to-back race victories for the Dutchman. He is really starting to look in control at the moment. An 8-second victory over Charles Leclerc there. Russell Hamilton, like we said, Magnussen just was able to defend from Carlos Sainz. And you mean, 6th place is not a bad result. But Sainz, I think, has been on the podium every other race this season, so it really is a bit disappointing for him there. Albon, first points of the year for our teammate, makes it our second ever double point score for 2-2 Motorsport there. We come through for P10 just ahead of Lando, Norris, with Esteban Ocon and Sergio Perez unable to see the checkered flag. Means the Dutchman now with an 8-point lead at the top of the table, but the ever-consistent Carlos still only 11 points back after the opening few Grand Prix. We're now comfortably ahead of Lando Norris. Of course, that extra point helps us out in that battle, but Magnussen, 8 points clear. He's finally starting to pick it up again after a struggle at the start of the year, and despite those 6 points, Albon's still the last of our point scorers so far. It would not surprise me if literally only us 13 were able to score points throughout the entirety of the campaign there. Red Bull, 29-point lead at the top of the table. I'm pretty certain that's basically stayed exactly the same. We're back up to 5th, though, ahead of Alpine and McLaren there, but I definitely think we get a few more consistent races and those big chassis upgrades. We are absolutely going to be able to get Aston Martin before the season is down and out there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we will be back very, very soon when Formula 1 returns to Imola. Big upgrades again. You guys do not want to miss it.